What do you think the main problem is with the markets today?
Well, I think it's uncertainty actually about the economy, which we're not really talking enough about. But I think what really happened is, as these numbers of cases have increased, people realize that more and more companies, more and more individuals are changing their behavior. That's causing social distancing. And if you look at the numbers on consumer spending, you can easily sort of put a hit into hotels, airlines, restaurants, and so forth, and you can easily come up with a recession which starts in the second quarter. And I think that's really where the problem is. But for investors, just calm down. Markets are crazy in the short run. In the long run, they are dictated by economic fundamentals. We may have a recession, but we've seen a big fall in stock prices to date anyway. And if we have a recession, eventually the coronavirus itself, its effects will fade. I think the effects will be very, very big around the world before we're done, but they will fade. Then the economy will come back. And so I think people should look at valuations carefully, make sure they're appropriately diversified, but just don't get too focused in these short-term market moves. They may be saying something, but I do believe that central banks can deal with the financial stuff here. It's really the economic stuff we've got to worry about, and there's some limit to the downside there.
So, Russ, what is, in your view, the economic risk here? Have we even begun to see it?
The economic risk is real. I mean, we're seeing this as a very unique economic shock for a variety of reasons. One, it truly is global. Second of all, it impacts both the supply and, as David just mentioned, the demand, and it is very hard to quantify. And for all those reasons, I think people are understandably concerned about the economy. Most people came into 2020 with the view that the global economy, while not great, was stabilizing. This certainly changes that narrative very quickly. And it's not inconceivable that you can have a quarter or two of a contraction. But I do agree with David. I think that the risk here is about how much the economic environment changes. What does that do for earnings? And how, if at all, can policymakers respond? I mean, so far, we've seen from central banks, I think there are legitimate issues about liquidity. But really the key here, other than a deceleration in new cases, is going to come from the fiscal side and targeted actions that help both individuals and companies that are made vulnerable by this shock.
David, on that note, we know that now that we're going to have Wall Street execs at the White House tomorrow. Yep. Of course, I think this evening, Eamon Javers had reported that Trump's advisors may be presenting him with some fiscal options. What would you like to see announced?
Well, a few things. First of all, I think we need to give the effective medical insurance against this disease to everybody. I mean, I don't know how you do that through an expansion of Medicaid, or maybe you just find some other way of funding it. But I think anybody who wants to get a test should be able to get a test. People should be able to deal with it. So we need to deal with short-term the medical issue. Second of all, I think we need to look at the businesses that are being impacted, particularly small and medium businesses. Think about small business administration loans. Think about helping companies weather the storm. And third, we need to think about the low-income workers, because a lot of the workers in the service sector are low-income workers who will be hit by this. Can we do some sort of stimulus check or something, maybe $1,000 per person or per household or something, but just a very egalitarian kind of tax cut, which really helps lower-income people to give those consumers some money to get by if, unfortunately, they do lose a job or lose hours because of this. So I think that's what you need to do. You need to protect small companies, protect vulnerable individuals, make sure you're dealing with the health care aspect of this. I think that's the best you can do in terms of helping ride out the storm.